Hi viewers, welcome. I'm Greg Gunter, the Dream Pro Realtor here in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I'm also the lifestyle broker for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services here in San Miguel, the first and flagship office in all of Mexico. Thrilled to be the very first face for Warren Buffett in all of Mexico. Now, that makes me a little bit famous because I'm in business with Warren Buffett in Mexico, right? But you know, in all honesty, I'm not $1 million lister like those guys in New York. I'm not selling Sunset like that Netflix version. It's got all those gorgeous girls selling $20 million homes. You know, I'm just I'm a pretty good realtor here in San Miguel. But I've noticed that a lot of people have an interest, and now that our world has gone a lot more virtual, a lot of people have an interest in their lifestyles, their favorite realtor. Hopefully I'm getting to be your favorite realtor. I thought you might be a little bit more interested in learning a little bit more about me, how I live in San Miguel de Allende, but you know, almost more importantly, learning a little bit more about the architecture and the homes, what to look for in a home when you're coming down to look for homes, the features that I enjoy that you can have in your home down here as well. So today we're doing a little combination of a welcome to my world for Greg and a little architectural tour for you so you'll know what to look for when you're shopping for a home. Ready to take a look?
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in?
Hi team, welcome back and welcome to my world. This is my home. We're going to take a tour of my home, and I thought we'd come back out and start at the front door so you could kind of get a sense of the architecture from the front. Now my home's a little bit unusual for homes in San Miguel. You know, most homes are built right up to the sidewalk. So they typically don't have very much what we call curb appeal in the United States. Typically you don't have that down here because there's a blank wall right up against the sidewalk, and then the home is kind of tucked back behind that. My home's a little bit different in that I have a little bit of an entry plaza here. So I've got a little bit more of a sense of entry as you walk into Casa dos Angeles, so named for my two angels here. By the way, this is Mike and this is Gabby for San Miguel and San Gabriel. Casa dos Angeles. Now, you can see I've got this gorgeous stone facade here that's covered in vine. This is a Cantera stone trim around the doorway right here. It's all hand carved by hand. It's got the large carriage style doors. So this is one of the old nods back to the days when you pulled the carriage into the home. So it's a very old Spanish colonial kind of detail there. You can see the facade sort of wraps around, and I've got my master suite terrace up there. The kitchen is downstairs. There's actually room for parking off the street here. And my home is on a little privada, so I've got 7 homes on this tiny little privada, and it's gated. So it's a little bit more unusual from that standpoint in that it's not right on the street. It's tucked off on a private cul-de-sac, what we would call a cul-de-sac in the United States. They call down here a privada because it's private. I have a gate and I have a 24-hour watchman. This is the outside of the home. Let's go take a look at the inside. Hi team, welcome to my world. Come on in. I'd love to show you Casa dos Angeles. Now as you come in to my house, you notice you're not coming right into the house. You're coming into a courtyard. And many homes in San Miguel are this way. They'll have an entry courtyard before you get into the main home. So it's kind of like a second foyer. And you can see mine is all landscaped with a lot of potted plants. I don't have any ground here at all, so there's no yard to mow, thank goodness. Although the gardener takes care of all that for us. But lots of potted plants, so I still get a very green sort of environment here. I've got a very European feel with my French lanterns. Here's Venus here. Did you get a chance to say hi to Venus? She would wave if she had a chance. Now, one of the interesting historical aspects of having a fountain in the middle of your courtyard is it was a sign of wealth back in the days when they were originally building haciendas here, because not very many people had running water. So it was a big advantage to have an ostentatious show of your wealth by having a fountain in the middle of the home. Today, everybody has running water, so no big deal, but it's good feng shui to have a fountain, so why not? I love it. It provides a little bit of waterscaping noise to the rest of the courtyard. So now here we are in our outdoor living room, in my outdoor living room. You know, we live a very indoor-outdoor lifestyle here. We're in the middle of Mexico. The weather is phenomenal. It's the middle of December right now, and I'm standing in my shirt sleeves, so you can tell it's very comfortable. We have lots of outdoor spaces where we like to entertain, have cocktails, dinner parties. I've had a wine tasting party here for 65 people, many of them out of my courtyard. So it's a great indoor-outdoor lifestyle. As you can see, it flows right directly to the inside of the house with the French doors that all open up. And we often have cocktails out here. And gosh, what do you know? Look at this. There's actually a bottle waiting for us here. I'm actually a big Italian wine fanatic. My maid must have poured a glass for me, knowing that we were making a video. Wouldn't you know it? If you want to bring a bottle of Barolo when you come down, no problem. I can take care of that. Let's go in and take a look at how this flows to the inside of the house as we walk into the front entryway. Come on in. Team, one of the things that I really like about my house is that it's a great room, and we'll see it in just a minute here. The living, dining all flows together, so it's a big open plan. This room has got 12-foot ceilings, so lots of good volume. We've got a great cornice detail with uplighting on the ceiling up there. So very dramatic. This is a great house for parties, I got to tell you. Some of my antiques, I've got a Venetian Chase sedan here, which is my one-person taxi cab for the streets of Venice. Next to it, a little dressmaker's form here, a little altarpiece with a reliquary and a Tibetan prayer flag. So I like to populate my house with lots of very unique architectural antiques that I've got from all over the world. Over here, we've got a little bit of a console, a Spanish-looking console with a 18th century mirror from Florence. I've got a Venetian lamp here as well. Oh, look at the flowers, by the way. This is a good lifestyle thing to point out about the flowers. You see, I've got a Casablanca lily display here. I get 3 bouquets of flowers delivered every week to my house for the equivalent of about $12. Can you believe that? Amazing. You'd pay 3 times that for just the lilies alone in the United States. Now take a look at this. This is what I mean by this great room concept. The room all flows together here. It's a very open plan that allows people to kind of communicate and come back and forth while you're entertaining and preparing dinner. Okay, Tim, we're in the living room. It all flows together. So where I was just standing is just part of the living room. This is all one big great room, as I said. I love the living room here. I've got this gorgeous chandelier, as you can possibly see, that anchors the space. But even more fun, I've got this old French clock up here. And what do you know? It works twice a day. I always like to say, you think it's about time for a new Realtor? One of my new taglines. Big fireplace here, as you can see. A lot of homes here have these large fireplaces. Mine's a little bit decorative. I've got candles in it right now. Lots of great furniture that provide a little bit more of a European influence. We've got a Spanish stretcher table over here with the candles, an antique book press. I love my book press. Caesar right here, my buddy Caesar. And then it flows directly into, as you can see, the dining room here. So it's a great venue for having dinner parties. Sometimes we set up and have buffets here as well. I've added a, believe it or not, this is a Pottery Barn appliance or a fixture that I've added to the living room to give it a little bit more of that candle feel. It's got a great china hutch. This is where I keep all the stemware back here, for instance. Kind of mirrors the light and adds a little bit more light here. That's a good design technique to remember for homes to provide a little bit more light for you. There's also a light well in the corner over here, and I'll show you a little bit more about that light well in just a bit. Things like that bring a little bit more light into the home, so it's very helpful. This home has got lots of good wall space, as you can see over here, for the art that's on the wall. That's another thing to kind of look for when you're looking for a home, is to make sure that you've got room for your art. So you want to have plenty of room for that. Let's take a look inside the powder bath. Whoever shows off their powder bath, right? Nobody ever shows off a powder bath. But here in San Miguel, it's kind of a fun detail to show people. They're typically smaller rooms, and so they create these hand-carved sinks out of Cantera. They're a bit of a reflection of the baptismal fonts that you see in the Catholic churches here. But it's a really cute detail. It's all custom made, all carved from stone, and it fits these narrow little powder baths really well. Just a fun detail. Look for them when you go looking for homes too. Let's go look at the kitchen. Team, this is the kitchen. Now, I'm a bachelor. I don't cook much, but I love a gorgeous kitchen. I got to say, I'm an architect, as you probably know. So design is still an important aesthetic for me, even if I don't use it functionally very much. I hardly ever cook, I got to say, but I love this kitchen. Now, this is a bit of a Mexican kitchen in that it's got the Talavera ornamental tile that you see here. But one of the things that I like about it is it's a consistent color. With some of the older Mexican homes, you'll see lots of different colors. That's a little busy for me. So I like this in that it's a consistent color scheme that you'll see. And as you come down here and look at the end wall, you'll see some great detailing up here above the windows. It's all tile all the way up with a great ornamentation that you'll see. I've got my little French parterre garden at the end of the kitchen here as well. Looks to the outdoors, so we've got some good light coming in. Lots of good details, great finishes on the cabinetry here. Everything is custom made. Nothing comes from a box here. So all of our carpentry is custom made here in San Miguel specifically for the homes here. Down at this end of the home, this end of the kitchen I should say, this is an all glass area that opens to a small terrace that's really just a light well. So this allows more light to come in. This is something to look for in the homes when you're wandering around looking at homes with me here too. These features like this will allow a little bit more light in when there's no view to the street. As a matter of fact, we happen to be underground right now. We're below grade where we are standing right now, but this is a 2-story light well that allows some light from the street that's about 8 feet up to come into the kitchen. And as you can see, I've got my small little wine display here and a few goodies. That's one of the nice things about the home series, lots of room, or at least look for that. Not always, they don't always have lots of room for display, but that's something to look for, is, you know, the opportunity to display some of your antiques and goodies like I do. Team, while we're still downstairs, I wanted to show you the ground floor bedroom that I have in this house. Now, that's a feature to look for when you're looking at homes here in San Miguel. In many cases, you'll have a ground floor master suite, a ground floor bedroom. Sometimes it can be a master suite. Now, this one is large enough that it could serve as the primary master suite. As you can see, it's got a gorgeous fireplace here, like we often have in all the bedrooms. It's got a large dressing area, a large, very nice bathroom. We've got a desk over here. It's large enough to have a sitting area. So this could be a master suite. In reality, for me, this is a guest suite. So the reason I use it as a guest suite, and one of the things I like about this, and this is a feature to look for when you're looking at homes here, is it has its own entrance. So people can come and go, your guests can come and go from the front courtyard without having to come through the rest of the house. As you can see over here, there's a door that still connects it with the rest of the home, so they don't have to go outside to come and go. But the really nice thing is they can come and go, and this could actually serve as a rental, which it does for me on occasion. People can come and go without having to come through the rest of the house because we can lock off the door over here. So really nice feature to look for when you're looking for homes here, is to see if you can find a home that has a separate entrance bedroom, because it's a little bit like having a casita. Great feature. Team, we're going to head upstairs now, but I wanted to show you the staircase. This is an interesting detail. Very ornamental staircase. You can see the rounded stairs here at the bottom that makes it a little bit more of a grandiose display for a staircase. It's not purely functional, it's also decorative. And one of the nice things about this is the wrought iron that they have done for the staircase, as you can see here. Again, nothing is from a catalog. All this wrought iron is custom made from the finial all the way through, all the details all the way up. Great wrought iron detailing all the way through the house. You're going to love paying attention to more of these little wrought iron details as we go. But let's go upstairs and take a look. And here we have my office. Look at these doors. So here's my little office, but it's got double doors with the arched top. Great details like this. They've made them to look 200 years old. I love the detailing that you can get in these grand homes. This is only a 12-year-old home, by the way, but they made it look a couple of 100 years old. Now this is my office. This is where I spend most of my days working. I work from home for the most part, even though we have an office in Centro. So I'm here at the computer a lot. As you see, I've got one that faces up against a window bay that I really love. But I also have a media room in here. So I use this as kind of my library, my media room. I've got a sofa over here, a few more antiques. It doubles as closet space because this is originally marketed as a bedroom. So it's got a full closet, a full bathroom. Now, one of the other architectural details that we haven't been able to see yet is we got to look up to look at it. We've got an Boveda dome ceiling up here above my office with a cupola on top that allows a little bit more light inside. A fun detail, and you're going to see another one in just a little while. We'll see one in the master suite in just a bit. Let's pan around and take a look over here at my fireplace. Can you see the fireplace? Do a close-up of this guy right here. I bet you don't know who that is, team, do you? That's me at a year. Team, my house has a den. It was designed as a den. I don't usually really use it that way. I'm a bachelor, so it's just me. I don't really need a lot of extra space. But this was designed as a den area. One of the interesting features to look for in this one, and maybe you'll find it in some of the homes that you look at with me, it's got this great detailing in the floor that reflects the grate up above. The reason for that is because my entire stairwell is an atrium, a glass atrium roof over that. So this feature allows light to come down from 2 floors all the way down into the living room because of the atrium glass that's above the staircase. Now we're going to come into the den area here. I don't really, again, as I said, use it as a TV area, but it's got a fireplace. It's meant to be used as a big media room or a second office. I've got another desk over here, for instance. I actually have a little breakfast bar up here. Here's my little fridge. So I've got a breakfast bar up here because the master suite in this house is on the 2nd floor. This is the entryway. You kind of come through the den to walk into the master suite. Come on in, let's take a look at the master suite. This is my master suite, team. So we're starting at the double door entry, arched doors again. Comes down a nice hallway with a great set of French doors off to the side here to allow a lot of light. You're walking by the master bath and the closet and dressing area and into what is my master suite. Now this is a beautiful room, very formal, very elegant, very, very well done. I love the gilt fixtures. I love the Boveda ceiling. If you can see, this is another one of those brick domed Boveda ceilings that's got the cornice detailing with the lighting up above it. Also has a cupola to let a little more light in. And you'll see on this one, we've got the light well that we saw downstairs in the kitchen is also coming up and allowing more light over here. And then on the other side of the room, we've got a double set of French doors as well that allows more light. And one of the nice things about this bedroom is you get the cross ventilation from both sides. So you get good cross flow in here when it's a little bit warm to kind of help cool the room off, and great light. I'm a big light fanatic, so I love lots of light. That's a great thing that I really like. 4-poster bed. We've got the very nice formal flooring here, the black and white flooring, which I really enjoy. Lots of candles. I got to have my candles. One of the nice things about this master suite also is that it's big enough to have a little reading area. So here's my little reading area. Take a look at what I'm reading these days, folks. Do you all remember who my boss is? You might recognize his photo on the cover of that book there. Team, remember that terrace off the master suite? We have lots of indoor-outdoor living here, like I mentioned. So we've got a master terrace right here off the main bedroom, and what do you know? Prosecco is ready for mimosas in the morning. This is the indoor-outdoor lifestyle that we love. I've got that breakfast bar in there. Cappuccinos, Prosecco, you're all set for the morning. Don't you love the lifestyle here? We're up on the roof now. Every home, almost every home in San Miguel has a roof terrace. So that's one of the key features. A lot of people say, oh, I have to have a roof terrace. Well, thankfully, practically everybody has a roof terrace. It's just a matter of how fancy it is. Mine's a pretty nice roof terrace, I have to admit. I've got a chase lounge here where I can watch the sunset, as I often do. And up on the roof terrace, you'll see some of these architectural details that make the roofs a little bit more interesting. Now remember when we were downstairs in my office and we looked up at that Boveda ceiling? This is that dome from the Boveda ceiling, and this is the cupola that lets light down into my office area. Now over here behind it, you'll kind of see a structure that's raised up. This is the laundry area, and in many cases they'll have the laundry and service area up on the roof because the maid is the one that runs up and down and does all the laundry and brings the vacuum and the brooms and everything up and down. Team, I wanted to share a little technical point with you. Not very interesting, but it's a good technical point to know about homes in San Miguel de Allende. We don't have natural gas in San Miguel. In fact, most of Mexico does not. We all have a propane tank somewhere on the property. Now, in most cases, it's up on the roof. So it's away from the more populated areas and the more areas that get a lot more use. Usually it's tucked away somewhere where you can't see it. Now in my particular case, I've got a feeder line that goes all the way down to the front. So it's a lot easier for them to fill the gas tank up. But it's just a little technical detail to follow. You just kind of pay attention to the level of gas and fill it up, you know, once every 3 months in summer, maybe once a month in wintertime. So now my roof terrace has another area over here that's kind of a seating area. It also would work well as a kitchen or a dining area. There is a wet bar over here, just not, and there's a grill in the corner. I just don't use it. But there is a roof kitchen here, so that's something to look for in many cases. This was tinted earlier, and I had a big dining table out here, but I chose to make it more of a sitting area. So this is where a lot of times you'll spend cocktail hours also up here to watch the sunset. I've got great views. If we kind of follow behind me over this direction, we've got a view toward Centro especially, and a bit of a view of the Parroquia. Now, in my particular case, I had a great view of the Paroquia when I first moved here, but I live right next to Parque Juarez, which is the big central park of San Miguel, and one of the trees there has kind of grown over and taken a bit of my view. So that's another thing kind of look out for, you know, pay attention to the views when you're looking at a home, and imagine if you'll have them long distance, you know, in the future. Sometimes buildings might get put in the way, sometimes a tree might grow up and obscure your view, so that's something that I'll always be looking out for you as a realtor. But it's a great roof terrace. We're going to find one for you too. Hey team, thanks for joining me today. This has really been a lot of fun to come and share my home with you, my lifestyle. You get a chance to see how I live down here in San Miguel de Allende, what the homes look like. You'll know what kind of features to look like for yourself when you come down and take a look at homes with me. We've got a lot of these same kind of features in many of the homes here, and you'll be able to find the same thing for you. You'll love the same lifestyle that I enjoy. I appreciate you coming to visit. I want to remind you, it's about time for a new realtor, don't you think? Come on down and visit. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess.